Rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
So we are live. Thank you so much for joining us, Alex. We are in a stream that we like to call Unpack the Stack, in which we generally just unpack stacks with our guests, the stuff that they build, the stuff they like. But this time, we're going to be slightly different. It's more going to be like, I have made a mess, and you're going to help me, which is
we unpack
kind of
your
fun.
stack.
Yeah, we're going to unpack my own stack and then even probably make a new stack because it's needed. So before we do all of that, can you talk about who you are, how you actually say your name properly with the German accent, because I cannot, and then what you do, stuff like that.
Of course. Yeah, I'm Alexander Lichter. A German living in East Germany. I am a web development consultant, so I basically have couple of clients, couple of companies. I help out with like education, so also with workshops, but also code reviews, audits, pair programming, implementation as well. Of course, with a focus on Vue.js and Nuxt.js, which also leads me to the next point. I am part of the Nuxt team. So you might have seen me around conferences giving some talks, or on Twitter or GitHub in the discussions and issues, or on the Nuxt Discord.
All the things.
Exactly.
And so, did I see recently a post by the Nuxt team that you have joined the Nuxt team officially, or what was that again?
Yes, exactly. So, quite some people like wrote me like, well, wait, were you not in the team already? And
exactly,
yeah, I joined back in 2018, as like the 5th or 6th person besides like Alex, Sebastian, Clark, and Puya back then.
Mm-hmm.
And then like over the years there were some restructurings, and then there was the framework team and like the community. And
all the things.
To be fair, I was always like present in the community, but I don't care a lot if I'm like a maintainer or like insider or whatnot. I just want to contribute and to give my part back to the community and make the framework better. So yeah, then eventually when Daniel now took over, he said, hey, let's chat. And then he asked like if I want to join. And of course I said, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great place to be.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm back again, but never was really gone.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like for me as well. I probably did one pull request for Nuxt in my career. That's not a lot, but I do a lot in the community. So it doesn't in the end doesn't matter where you do it as long as you work with Nuxt. We're wearing our old school Nuxt. I think you even had your Nuxt shirt on as well, right?
Yeah,
indeed. The old logo, people. We're old school.
And it's not even the oldest. I have still like one with the really old, like just 3 triangles. But yeah, and
exactly.
There's still like 2 logos in between.
Exactly. Yes. So I think for today, what we'll do is we get started with Benniks.dev, which is my website, and it's running on Nuxt 2. And it's using Uniform, where I work, to kind of get all the data into one place from all different CMSs. So it acts kind of like an API aggregator of sorts. And then it builds, and then there is a statically generated website. So it's not SSR, it's super simple, it's on Vercel. But I haven't updated it in a while. And then Dependabot started adding some stuff because I didn't configure it. And then I added a few conference talks just in my CMS, so the website would update with its latest conference talks, and that didn't happen. And I was like, "Ooh, let's have a look." I couldn't build it locally. I couldn't build it on Vercel. Versions changed. I think even Node 16 that I'm running locally, which is slightly old, it's the same node that's running on Vercel. It's just dead. And then Tailwind updated itself, and then everything stopped working. We kind of know where we're going with this, I guess. So what we could do is maybe have a look at that project, see if we can get it to build. If not, whatever. If we can, that's cool, because then my website gets updated with its latest content, which is cool. But what we should do after that is actually start a new Nuxt 3 project. Just have a look at all these Vue 2 components I have. What do we do to make them Vue 3 components? Work on that together. But that also gives us the chance to actually look at the latest stuff from Uniform and how that actually works. And so then I have my marketing duties in the back as well as a working website, hopefully, which would be cool. I don't have the illusion that we can actually do it all today. We want to try to do like an hour-ish. If it feels like, hey, it's interesting, we'll do more. But let's see. So what do you say?
Yeah, sounds good. I think like fingers crossed that the old website will build after like some fixes here and there. But
Exactly. I
having
did
a
a
look at the
few things,
migration.
but okay. So
Okay.
I'll share my screen, and oh, we
Yes.
have Inception. So this is the website, and it's kind of my own design. It's a little lately, it's a bit more refined, but this still works for now. And it's a pretty cool website. It has all my videos here, and these videos actually come from Contentful. Then it has a bit of copy that also comes from Contentful. Then it has blog posts that are actually in Prismic, believe it or not. And then we have these conference talks also from Contentful, I think. And there's just a few pages. It's not too much, but it's pretty cool. Let's just see if we can build it again. So
Let's
right
try it.
now,
Yeah.
let's just go to, I think it's this one. See, I have some changes to try to make it build, but it
Uh-huh.
hasn't.
Okay, let's see.
Let's just see if we can just run it locally. Seems
So
like
far
stuff
so
is
good.
happening.
Yeah.
So far, so good for sure. I did a few fixes. It's Nuxt 2.15,
Mm-hmm.
and then it says, okay, but why?
Oh, here we go already. Node fetch.
Oh,
But
okay,
that looks more like there is no body from a request.
exactly. It seems like its node fetch is breaking. Well, let's just open this in VS Code
Uh-huh.
because I don't actually know where I'm using node fetch in this. I probably am somewhere.
Well, you can write yarn y node fetch and you will see.
Exactly,
So that
exactly.
might be a good start. Maybe that's some module using it and trying to do some requests, and the body is empty. But it says properties of null body, so the response might be yeah.
Oh, Nuxt. Oh, I'm using Nuxt HTTP.
Oh,
That's
okay.
well, that's pretty old school. I
For
don't
Nuxt
think
2,
we.
still it's proper for Nuxt 2, but yeah, you don't need it
Okay.
anymore, luckily.
So let's see. Let's go through the code a little so you know how this thing is actually set up, because it's not the easiest way of working, because it has this uniform thing that's also slightly old. So it has a few things fighting for attention, so we say. That's a little too much, but here, okay, let's see. So there's few things you see everywhere, right? Everybody uses these. I think you built this one, right? The sitemap one.
Sitemap, I contributed. I think
Ah,
Nicolas Pennek, like from France, built that. But
yeah,
I,
okay.
I did a few contributions to it. I built the feed module though.
Oh, the feed one. I
Yes.
think I thought I had that on here too.
No RSS feed.
Hmm.
Well, good for the next one, I guess.
For the next one, exactly.
Though it has no next tree support yet, but it's work in progress.
Exactly. There you go. Let's see if there's anything very special. So there you can see here, there's no Nuxt module for uniform because I
Indeed.
went around it to make it work better with Nuxt 2. And so what I've done is this. I've made a separate project that gives me back all the information that I have for each page. So for, let's say, the about page, I get back a JSON object from uniform, and then uniform on its own will query all the stuff I need. So when you go back to the homepage, you can see there's a contentful entry which has the title, description, and image that I need for my OG properties and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have a little header with some navigation items. And then there's a hero component that is also from Contentful that has a bunch of information. There's an image from Cloudinary for that hero. And so when you push this JSON object into the uniform SDK that loads on the website, it will understand what these things are. And then based on the type, it will just literally load that component that's called single video and then add this as props.
Okay, nice.
So it's
So
relatively simple to make it work.
It sounds like, and like with that actual project, you have like a backend for front end, so to say.
Exactly. Yeah. We can have a look at how that works. So this is the newer. let's find my project in Uniform so I can show you. I just have to find it. I think it's this one. Oh, as you can see, there's a ton of integrations that I use. I have Cloudinary, Commerce Tools even, just to try out some stuff and show it off. So when we
That's
go
the
to
idea
the
of personal sites. Yeah.
exactly,
Just trying
I
out.
have everything in it. And so as you can see, this is that homepage, and here's my hero, and that's then connected to an entry in Contentful. So we can actually hit edit, and then I can log into Contentful and then edit it if I want.
Oh.
So the kind of the flow here with this version of Uniform anyways is that my content lives here and I just point to it. And then the SDK gives you all the lovely JSON that you need.
But that's
And
not the
then,
case anymore, right?
no, it's right now we can still do that, but we have slightly different approach to it, which we'll get to in a bit further down in the stream.
Sounds good.
But for now, basically, you can in Uniform you can make a component that has certain slots, and then slots can have other components, a la Vue.js, basically. Right? And so here I have a single video item that then connects to Contentful again, which has video information. Then I have some other ones, and then here I have a single image. Then here I have a little rich text from the CMS. And then my latest talks are actually a query into Contentful as well. Somehow is not loading. There might be, there we go. Like, for example, latest blog posts. It's just a query. If I want to get 3 of them, it gives me 3. And this ends up in the JSON, basically.
Got it.
And so how you get it from, and from Uniform, you get it like this. For example, my videos, it just gives me the ID of Contentful. And so that little in between layer thing that I built, this one, you look here on this one right now, it's only an ID, right?
Yes.
But when you look actually here, it's fully formed with everything in
resolved.
it, everything you need. Yeah. So this is basically resolving all that stuff. In the new Uniform, you don't need to do that complicated stuff. But back then, this is what we're dealing with for my Nuxt 2 project.
Got it.
What makes it easy though is that there's literally one place where I query Uniform, which is here. So I have a use composition because this thing you just saw is a composition, and it queries API composition with the slug I'm in and a few other states like preview state or not. And then here we have an event bus set up that if you wanted to do preview, you can actually set Nuxt 2 in preview mode and change in Uniform, and then directly things will update in your website with preview mode.
That's really nice. Great.
And so all that stuff, and there's some other composables I added for like metadata and other things. That's not too important now. The important bit is that use composition queries this thing, and what comes back is this data. And that data is pushed into the Uniform SDK, and this comes out. And so I think maybe something here is going wrong, right?
That could be, yeah.
Yeah. And so if we look at a page, let's say the index, so what I'm doing is actually here you have this composition component that actually is a Uniform SDK. And then there is a slot content component. So we couldn't use the word slot because it's Vue native, obviously. Yeah. So for the component slot in my page, it will just find all the components. The cool thing with Nuxt is, of course, it auto loads or auto resolves all those components. So it's very easy because I don't actually have to tell this composition component which components to load because they're already auto loaded by Uniform or by Nuxt. And so essentially what I do is I use this use composition, give it the slug I want, the draft state or not, and then just go for it. And that's the only thing that's actually happening is just getting this JSON, giving that JSON to this composition component. The magic happens. So what it does in this one is just matches the type of component to an imported component that it knows, gives it the props, and then you're good to go. So we go to this hero component here. So this is Vue 2, obviously. So I have some props, Uniform data prop. And let's see how I did it. Yeah, here. So basically I make a computed field from all the fields that I get back from that entry parameter, which is the hero.
Yes.
And then it returns all that. And then that's basically
what you use in template.
Yeah, just how to render this thing. So it's not too complicated. It's one API call per page, and it just runs through these components with the JSON.
Mm-hmm.
So we somehow need to find out what's going wrong with this when we run it.
Indeed.
Let's see if we have any comments in the. No, I think we're good. Sorry, I just once in a while look back.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so it's somehow it's destroy stream. I don't even know where this is starting. So maybe we can check another page because
Yes,
it could
that's a
just
good
be a
idea.
component somehow. No.
Are there any plugins or Nuxt.js plugins you use by any chance?
Yes, there are a few. So these are just to make sure that composition and slot content components exist in Nuxt.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In our new module, that you don't need to do any of this stuff. There's a preview, so when you can actually enable preview by Nuxt 2 preview with the question mark preview is true. And then this is literally just a very simple HTML element extend for a YouTube embed. So that's it.
Okay, but
So-
then yeah, nothing that calls any API to get
No.
started.
So what we can do probably is just for this page here, remove all this stuff.
Yeah, just like render a very basic thing. I would have suggested the same.
Let's just see whatever composition comes out of this. If it
If they
actually
even-
ends up here.
Yeah, I even think that.
I think it's not
Like-
ending up here, to be fair.
Yes.
No, exactly. Okay, so what we should do is look at our use composition composable,
Maybe
which
we
is
can,
actually
like,
doing the query.
maybe we can like comment the call out index first, just to see to get the page itself running, and then we know
Yeah.
that it's part of the.
Good move.
Thanks.
And we don't need this because it also needs data for that composition to do
Yeah,
something.
fair.
Let's just remove all of it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I just render static string.
Oh, we need an actual root in next.
Yeah, true.
In
Like some
Vue1.
H1. Yep. Yep.
Remember how long it used to take to render something in
Oh,
the
yeah.
old days.
I still deal with oh, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I still deal with Nuxt 2 projects every now and then, especially
Oh yeah,
like
same here.
migrations
Once in a
and-
while.
And then it's always like, oh wow, did you try the Nuxt Vite module? Because it was also there for a bit, but yeah, well.
I think I didn't. So I think, well, let's see if it comes in here.
Oh, I think I have an idea, because it's a composable, so you use the composition API. No,
I'm not
right?
actually sure. Am
don't.
I? I don't
No,
think.
you don't.
I
No, you don't.
literally
No, no.
just kind of hacked it.
And you passed in the Nuxt context. Ah, okay, got it, yeah.
I just passed it the context.
Yeah.
Like this is the old days, man.
True. Yeah.
Let's see if it actually gets the slug. And we're just gonna go like this so we
Mhm.
can really see it in our console.
Yeah.
You do have to restart it because it completely kills.
Yeah, it
server.
fails in service at rendering and says goodbye.
Yeah, it's just okay, bye.
Crazy.
Okay.
Let's see what the console says.
Okay, so it just
It
says
worked.
slug.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. This should be a variable.
Yeah.
So this should be
it
slash.
be.
Why does it say slug? Okay.
That's strange indeed. But yeah, you pass it in as a.
I don't trust myself. We go again. Clear all these out. There we go. Oh wow! Look at this.
Now it's yeah.
Yeah. So this is correct, but it craps out immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, just for fun, why don't we just do this?
Yeah.
I don't know if fetch actually works like this.
Well,
Nuxt too.
it's polyfilled. It should. But yeah, we might have to change how we fetch the data, because and we have to like do the.
This is not going to
conversion
work.
to-
Yeah.
We have to do also that .then JSON REST JSON.
Yeah, we kind of need to do. I think we can do this.
I think yeah, in a way, yes, exactly. That should work.
Oh, this is not the
And
right
yeah,
typing. Just go like this. I'm bad at typing, so here we go. We should probably do it. And let's just kill this whole preview thing because I'm not even sure if that's helping us right now. Oh, we have to restart
yeah,
it.
restarting the server. Yes, yes.
We are dealing with some real debug here. I like it.
But that's the good thing. Like you don't even have. Oh wow.
Huh? Okay, no. That's interesting. So it's still using node fetch. So it. How about this? Now it's certainly not doing anything here.
Nope. But then it should not crash. Yeah.
All right.
So far so good.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's not crashing. Well, well, of course my page now needs stuff that it doesn't get.
Exactly. Which version of node fetch is provided?
You can do this, right?
Uh,
Oh.
it's a good question. I'm not sure. I think
This is a bit of a Linux approach to it.
yeah, no. Then like we can run yarn y again. It should tell the version, I think. Or I hope.
28268.
268. Okay. Can we check with yarn outdated if there's probably a new version, but just in case.
Just and now enter or also no
Yeah.
touch?
No, that should be fine. It just gives a whole list.
Gonna be a lot.
Yeah, I was thinking so, but
Here,
interesting node
why is
fetch.
Nuxt Kit here, for example?
Oh, because it has a 311, and that's I suppose some modules that have been updated by the panda
They
bots
need it,
have
right? Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But okay, node fetch is not in there because we did not install it on
No, not
ourselves.
in that. Yeah, exactly.
It's only in dev dependencies. But wasn't I'm just thinking
We
loud.
go. We just go like this.
We could yeah.
Okay, so
We could
Nuxt
also
HTTP definitely uses it.
just refresh the log file, right?
Oh, look, Nuxt image uses it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Interesting.
it's all for like polyfilling, right?
Yeah. Okay. How about should
So
we just remove this?
yes, just remove it and reinstall. The classic did you try turning it off and on again approach.
Exactly. Here we go.
But that also means that the log file will be refreshed and all dev dependencies will have the newest version of the constraints installed.
Before we say that, I think I might have hard coded a few of those, as you can see.
Okay.
Just to
Yeah,
be
well,
safe.
that's good. Yeah, just pin them. That's fine.
Not all though.
I think that's okay.
Well, Nuxt HTTP is there, but we might not need this one. If we can literally just do like a normal fetch, that would be cool.
I mean, we can, and for example, in Nuxt 3, we will use fetch anyway.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I guess that would be a good approach there. And also, because it's right now, it's just a GET request, so shouldn't be that big of a deal.
No, it's literally just a GET request. Oh, it could be maybe it just doesn't know my base URL somehow. No, it's set up here. There you go.
I mean, worst case, you can just copy it and hard code it for now, but otherwise, it would like say that it's undefined. I guess.
Yeah, we can copy it for a sec.
Yeah.
But this should just do it though. Anyways, right now it's going to work because we're not querying anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it is working. Okay.
And the async in line 3. Yes. Great. That looks better because we don't return
It does
composition
look
right now.
better.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's return it and see where we're going. I think you had it in object before, right?
Did I? I'm not sure.
I think
I did,
so.
yes.
Yeah.
Did that recompile already?
Yeah,
Ooh,
there we go. Now
okay.
we can uncomment all the things
Well, let's see.
and fingers crossed.
Okay, so I'm uncommenting everything, which means it. Oh,
It
yeah,
means it's
baby.
there. Great.
And look, my latest conference talks are working
Clearly.
now.
Yeah, perfect.
How about that?
Oh, we see
Okay.
each other. VJS
Yeah,
Amsterdam
we're
and
gonna see each
London.
other a few times, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So this took 26 seconds, and the interesting thing is, I did exactly the same like 2 days ago. Welcome to web development.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. But yeah, I mean,
So
we also switched out the HTTP module for a normal fetch.
that I
so
didn't do. That really helps, I think. Yeah.
I
So
think like all the combination of the new node fetch plus switching it out might have done the trick.
I think that the HTTP thing definitely did the trick. Before that, I did fix like the Tailwind stuff and all these other things. So
Yeah.
the fact that this works is cool. So what we can do now is probably go and make a new project. And
Mm-hmm.
I've taken the liberty just an hour before our stream to already set up a new Nuxt 3 project so we don't have to go through that in the stream. And I've connected it to a new uniform component with the latest SDK. And so that gives me a chance to kind of show how that works. And what we can do is start mapping these components that we have already in the old site, maybe to the new. And also in that VS Code, we are connected already, right? So we can actually
Indeed.
share. All right, let's do this. I need to share my screen. And then we can have a look. We can turn all this off. So let's maybe start here. So we can go to my new 2023 project. And as you can see here, there's a lot less integrations. I just use Cloudinary in a rich text editor and then deploying on Vercel, which is pretty
Sadly,
cool.
I can't see your screen on StreamYard.
Oh, this is my
So the
this is
people
my
can't say
bad.
it either.
My bad. There we go. So I have Cloudinary to be able to select stuff from their DAM, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have rich text to make Uniform slightly more content editor friendly, even though Uniform is not really CMS. It kind of just points to things. But sometimes you want, like, the difference is how it works is Uniform is not a CMS, so it doesn't have your like structured data for blog posts or videos. But if you want to show a blog post and you want to show it featured, so it's a big one, a big item or something, or like a little bit of text about my latest blog posts. Like that text doesn't have to be in a CMS. That's design related data. And that's
Yes.
what we do in Uniform. And then I have a Vercel integration that I have not configured yet, but you can add an access token here. And then you can just kind of see your builds going on. You get insights from Vercel. You can trigger a build from here. So that's pretty nice to have.
Great.
And so we have a new thing. And so for the people that don't know Uniform, what we're doing is basically it's basically a page builder, and for developers it's really nice because it kind of harmonizes all the integrations with all the different systems you might use into one way. And then on the front end you get an SDK. When you query a composition, so a page is a composition, you get the data, you give it to the SDK, and the SDK will find your components and add the props to it, which is pretty nifty because then you have all your sources in one place. And then you can do universal preview between all these sources, for example. There's a ton of stuff that can work. So let me just go to that project quickly and show you how it looks in Uniform.
Yes, please. And it really sounds like Uniform is doing all the hard, like heavy lifting, the hard tasks to like wire up all the APIs and just aggregate all the things.
Exactly. And the beauty on top of it is generally the hard stuff, we kind of like it a little bit as developers, right? But the moment content editors come into play and they say, you know what, give me a page on my static build website with 5 products from this place, personalize it a little bit, give me some data from that CMS, because when you grow, you have multiple sources. And then suddenly developers need to code that.
Yeah.
And then they say, yeah, but we have all these integrations now. And then we go to the US and we want another CMS. You have to integrate everything again. It's messy. And so as a developer, you're constantly just dealing with people wanting stuff rather than you building cool things.
True.
And so
Yeah.
that's kind of why we built this as well. And so I just started it up. Let's see in VS Code. So not this one, but in this one, we are connected, right? So if you can go to hero.view, you can probably type something here, right?
Yeah,
There
absolutely.
we go.
There we go.
Nice. Okay, as you can see,
Livestream.
there's just a title. Okay, so how about you type that? That's cool. Let's see if it shows
There
up
we go.
in the
Yes.
stream. So we're just going to go to localhost. And of course, it's not showing anything. That's part of the game, I guess. Am I in the right folder? Nope, I'm not. This is
There we
actually
go.
the React version of that project.
Oh.
I have to learn all the things, right?
Yeah, true.
I'm learning all these things about like JSX or TSX now, and
I
I'm
saw a
so
few tweets
used-
already. Yeah. HTML4 class name.
Yeah, like what is this? And I'm so used to doing Vue and template-driven stuff rather than just JavaScript. It's
Yeah.
so different, right? But anyways, you see, this is working.
Yeah, I'm just putting some more exclamation marks in here.
Yeah,
to
put them
show
on. The
live reload.
interesting bit here is if we go to that homepage here in Uniform,
Uh-huh.
you will be able to actually look at that here. And so we can actually add. So what you're looking now is the published version. And this is like a draft version where I removed something.
Mhm.
So we can actually add this hero component, the one thing we actually have in this, and actually say, I think I only actually have.
I think the component's only the title. Yeah.
And so now,
I'll just.
I need to maybe publish, and let's have a look. Hi
there
stream,
we
that's
go.
what I typed, and this is in the
Yes,
code by you.
Exactly. I just removed mine, so we see only the title.
There we go.
So that's coming from Uniform. Got it.
So right now you don't see that much because it's only a little title, but we can maybe change that up in a sec. Let's just do.
Sorry, my bad.
There we go.
Yeah, that's the challenge of.
Yeah, you're fixing it for me. I like it.
That's collaborative work here. Yeah.
Okay, so now it's a little bit higher, and let's do this. All right. Yes. And so basically how this works, the fact that it finds like this thing to put around it, it's like position absolute, and it's just finding it and then rendering it on top, so it doesn't interact too much with whatever your HTML is, which also
so
means
change the design.
Nothing. There's no HTML you have to put in or JavaScript you have to put in to attach to these components.
That's great.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier. So when we add another one, you see, this is just a cool way to use it, or you can do it like this. Of course, now that we have two heroes, so what I want to show you here is when you can actually look at the source of what comes out of this. So you see a whole bunch of stuff here, which I haven't showed you yet, because when you're on the page itself, I set up that the page has a title parameter, description parameter, and an image.
Yes.
And so when we actually look at that source, you can see that there is the image with all the Cloudinary stuff you might need in your code. Then we have the title and the description. And then in the slot components, we have two heroes. And I just hard typed this text here, right?
Yes.
So right now we're kind of using Uniform as a CMS. And if you want to see that, you can also just hit refresh here.
I think you have to publish, right?
Yeah, I think that's the next issue. We need to solve that somehow. Because normally it could be just my code. I think it's in the code, it's probably looking for a published version of it. But in preview mode, it's working. Yeah, so we can query the Uniform API as published or preview or whatever. So here it's clearly in preview mode. So we can actually go like this and then add the inline editing everywhere we want, obviously. You can just say
Oh.
preview is true. And we can now actually do this. I do it like this because why not? Oh, I thought it was magic, but it's not magic.
It will be
Okay.
magic. It will be magic again.
Oh, it's always like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, as long as it works in line here, that's pretty nice. So what we of course want to do is add some content to this from other sources, because you don't want to build the whole thing like this, because I have blog posts elsewhere, I have YouTube videos, stuff like that, right?
Indeed.
And so what we have done is something we call data types. And this is quite nerdy. And I've built a bunch of them already. And so what this is normally you don't need this, because this is quite specific. So if you want to get my dev.to articles, basically built Postman in uniform.
Oh.
So I literally just give a base API.
Yes.
And then I can get a source, and I just goes to /article. And then with an ID variable, and you can kind of just test that and see. I don't know an ID by heart right now, but then you just get back JSON, essentially. The same I built for live streams. And right now what I've done, this is literally just a little microservice living somewhere that this calls.
Great.
However, that doesn't have to be like that. You can also just go and add an integration like, well, there's a lot. We can just add Contentful or Storyblock, or I don't think there's Storyblock in here, but like a lot of them. And then it's easier. Then you don't have to do all that stuff. So this here is more for the developers.
Yeah. So for any API that's like you don't provide any integration for.
Yeah. So like yesterday I added Notion because I needed a list of some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You literally do a few clicks, you add your Notion secret and run, which is pretty cool. And so
Indeed.
how about we get like some videos for my channel?
Let's do that. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So let's start with that, and then we add a uniform, a Nuxt component to show that off. I think that's a good start.
Great plan. Let's do that.
So first, what we need to do is make a component that is actually able to show a video. So let's call this a video card. Oh. And interestingly, what you see here, this is literally just the JSON representation of what a component is. There's no HTML or whatever view connected to this.
Okay.
So what we want for the video is the title, and it's just the text.
Mm-hmm.
What we want is the description. Oops. And if we wanted to, let's say, add an image ourselves, you can just select the Cloudinary type, and you just browse Cloudinary if you want to.
Wow.
But I don't have that now because we just need we need the video ID, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to get it from YouTube.
To be able to also link to YouTube. And then we need the poster frame, the image. Mm-hmm. Now these are just texts. So and we have to say, okay, let's save this one. You can say, okay, in the interface you see the title, and let's allow it in the slot for my page. So it's just in the global page, we're just going to add this thing. So right now what you can do when you go to the home page, you can actually just start by adding a video card. Of course, there's no Vue implementation just yet. So it tells you, hey, I don't have this. Yeah. But you can actually type this stuff already. So how about we make a quick Vue component called video card so we can see what's happening. And then later on, you can see these little arrows here. Here you can actually attach a data source to these props.
Ah, that will be interesting in a bit.
Yes. But you need to get used to this stuff a little. But there, when you have it, it's really cool. So let me just steal this from the hero so we can just, let's do an easy copy paste here.
Of course.
Right, so we need a title. What else did we have? Description. I keep typing that string.
No worries, got you covered.
Exactly. They're all strings, which makes it easy.
Yes.
Oh, you fix it. That's so nice.
Yes.
What else did we have? I think it was this 4,
right?
Yeah, it's just this.
Yeah.
So for now,
let's just print them out, right?
Yeah, let's not have this one. No.
Just like very basic. Something like that.
Maybe we can make it slightly nicer.
Oh,
Oh
yeah, you
boy.
can.
Whoa, whoa,
Okay,
whoa,
then
whoa,
make
whoa.
it nicer for sure. That's always a good opportunity. Oop. Oh, I think for some reason the cursor is
Our
jumping a
cursors
bit.
are interfering with each other a little,
Yes,
it seems.
I'll put my hands off.
Just for a second.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's keep this like really simple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we have component. The only thing we need to do, and we've decided to actually say, you know what? Let's make a component mapping. So you can choose which components are for uniform and which are not.
Oh, okay. Yes, makes sense.
And also, I think this works really well with like tree shakeable stuff.
Yeah,
But I'm
then you
not
at least know
sure.
which components might be like have to be available like globally, so to say, and which not.
Exactly. And so when you look at our slug page here, we haven't actually seen this yet, but I'll show you that in a second. Basically, I just say, okay, give it the composition to the uniform composition component. And this is the resolver. And the
And we
resolver is
pass that.
literally just this mapping.
Yes.
That's why it was also showing, hey, I don't have that component for you because it just does the default not implemented component.
That's great.
And that comes
Makes
out
sense.
of the uniform canvas package. Okay, so now it should understand video card. And this is the component.type that it gets back from the JSON, which you can see. We can actually view source. And then here it should say components type hero, type
Then
video card. There's just no information in the video card, so it's not really rendering anything.
Yes.
So we can just do,
And probably also save and publish.
and we might even need to refresh it. I'm not sure if you add a new component.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's our
There we
video
go.
card.
Yes.
Oh, of course, that image, we haven't added anything yet. So, but that doesn't matter. So we can render these and we can add a few of them, right? We can just add another one and type it ourselves if we want.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. But we don't want that. We actually want our videos that come from YouTube to actually fill these props for us. Because right now, what you can see, if you look at the source again, the information is coming out. And then you can also see this is what's stored, and there's also an edge-enhanced source. And this is living on the CDN edge close to wherever you are browsing from. And so this is cached. So if any YouTube stuff comes in here, it will be cached in here. So you're not querying YouTube again. And if something changes, Uniform will take care of the cache handling for you.
Awesome. Will it like purge the whole cache or just the cache from that specific like page if something refreshes?
Ooh, I think it's more small even. I think it's basically just on component level even. But I'd have to ask my colleagues how they saw that.
Because I mean that's great, especially like if you have lots of content coming in, then of course you want lots of cache hits for the not changing content, and yeah, so that's a good thing for sure.
Okay, so what we can do is first start by adding a data resource.
Mm-hmm.
So what we want is Tim's YouTube videos. Oh, that goes quite far. And so there's a few of those that we looked at, right? And so let's do videos by channel.
Yes.
Oh, and I actually set up my channel ID by default because I know it's my project, so I'm just going to be doing that. And we probably want 5 of them. And we order it by date, sure. So basically now we've attached a data source to this composition. So what we can do in here is add something we call a loop, because we're looping over data over JSON, right?
Yes.
And so in that loop, you can select the data array. Well, the result of my Tim's YouTube videos is actually these 5 because we selected 5 of them. Okay, so we're connecting that. And then inside the loop body, we can grab our video card and actually
render
say,
whatever we want.
Title. We map
and
title
even
there.
link that. Wow, great.
And then we map description. And we map the video ID so we can link to it. And let's map the poster. That's this image. And now
there we go.
We actually just made these. And so when we hit save and publish and we go to our, just the thing we just built. Oh, that's interesting. In preview, it works. But in here, it doesn't know what loop is, but here it
Oh.
does. Ooh, I hope my colleague Ilias is watching because we literally just went over this. I'll quick check Slack in a second, but
Of course.
it does work in here, which is cool. I don't know what, or maybe because it's this. Okay, that's interesting. We updated our SDK like a few days ago, so it could be there's something up with that. However, this is the same renderer. This is still
Same idea. Yeah.
Here, when we are actually in context editing, it's working. Okay, let's ignore that for a second. We have to fail in streams. It's just how it is. But that's pretty cool, right? If you're like, and this was a little bit technical. So what we will be doing is that managing of these data sources, we probably move that to where you set up your components with all these properties and just map them there so developers can do it. And
yeah,
content
editors don't have to.
Yeah, they just know, okay, that's this thing, okay, it just works.
Makes
of
sense.
course, this doesn't look great, right?
Well, we didn't put that much effort in, so sure.
No, 0. And so right now, we just added a loop directly in the body of the page and added a few of those card components. But what you might want to do is make a component that has a slot. And inside the slot, we render this loop. And because it's in a slot around it, you can add like a CSS grid. So it becomes a list.
Makes sense.
Something like that, right? So let's do that for a sec. So I can go to the component library and say, okay, we're just going to make a videos list. And we probably have like selecting an icon is always the hardest thing in everything, right? But this here,
and naming.
Yeah, naming and like videos list is decent.
Yeah.
You can imagine in the future, I will also have lists of talks and lists of live streams. So maybe it's not the best name, but for now, let's deal with it.
Yeah, I think we can roll with that. Yeah.
Yeah, we might want to give it a title because why not? And then what we can give it is inside this component can live the loop component that can actually then render this loop of videos.
Okay.
So we can add a slot that's called videos. In there, we allow the video card and we allow the loop. But as you can see here, we can also allow personalization or A/B testing or localization, which means if you add personalization, you can just look at the Vercel Edge network where you are, and then you in Germany can get different videos than me in France, for example. But that's not for now. So now we allow these components to go in there. And we can say show it. And so we do need to, once it's saved, you can actually assign it a slot because this thing itself needs to also be able to go into the page. So because a page is also a component with the extra thing that it says, oh, I'm a composition. That's the only difference.
Yes.
And then you can give it a slug and such. So now we can just say, okay, let's add our video card. And our video card wants to, oh no.
The video list, right?
Video list, my mistake. Of course, video list doesn't have an implementation. You can give it videos. So what we can do now is literally just open this and say, okay, this loop should go in there. Of course, there's no implementation, but let's build that now. So let's make another one called videos. Did we have an S?
Yes, we had an S in there.
And it's so simple now because this is now it's just Vue, like define props, whatever it is, right? So here we just need the title, that's it. And we render the title, but we also need that slot thing. And that's another uniform component. And I think I'm using it here, like uniform slot.
Oh, okay.
And because of Nuxt 3 and our uniform module, this is just auto injected. It just works.
And full TypeScript support, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fully typed. And that's why, like, for example, the use uniform composition is just injected by the module, fully typed, you can see. It's all there. And that makes it really easy. So, and this was called videos, right? So now what it should do, it should actually render that because it finds videos. And this component is basically provide inject. It injects all the information that it needs. And then these components get that injected stuff or provided stuff or whatever you want to call it. And then look at, okay, which components are in this slot or in this case in videos. And let me just render those. Right. So
and it will be the loop with the video card components. So they should be rendered. Yes.
That's the point. Oh, I really forgot something. We actually have to add it to the mapping.
Of
This
course.
is the one thing that's not my favorite, but at least it makes you remember what you have built specifically.
True.
Right.
But I
But
mean, in theory, DX could be even improved by saying you put that in, I don't know, some kind of component meta and could resolve it by that. So
yeah,
you don't have
exactly.
the. There are like lots of possibilities there, I guess.
We might be like, but the thing is here, this is nicely typed directly.
Yeah,
If you
true.
do it this way, you know exactly what a hero is because it's a component instance in Vue, and Vue gets to decide whatever it is. But this is the component instance from Uniform, so it kind of knows what this thing is doing. It knows what a type is, and so that's pretty cool.
I agree.
All right.
There we go.
So now we have a videos component, and inside it is a loop, and there's the video cards. And videos is the title we just added to it, which is, let's make that a bit bigger.
Yes.
So what we should actually do is just this. Let's see.
Oh yeah, we wanted to indeed. That's really bummer that it always jumps.
Kind of strange, right?
Yeah.
It almost works.
But in general, I really like that extension, and there we go.
And so like this, you can slowly but surely start to add more stuff, like my conference talks or my upcoming live streams. And so now that we made that video card, we could actually add another data source for my upcoming streams.
Indeed.
So upcoming streams. And this ID is actually the YouTube channel. So I don't have streams on my own channel right now, but we have one on Uniform. So let me just go in and find the channel ID for Uniform.
Yes, go for it.
I think that's this one. Okay, so upcoming streams in Uniform. So we can literally just add another of those components.
It's also very nice that it directly shows if like the calls work, if everything's okay, and the
yeah, it's pretty
latency.
clean. Exactly. So here we're just going to choose the other one, upcoming streams, result, connect. And now we have, well, now it says videos, but this should be streams. And suddenly there you are, right? And there's a few other streams coming up. And we just changed the data, it loops it, and we're ready to rock. And of course, this doesn't look amazing right now.
Yeah, but I mean, for the time,
so many things.
Yeah, like just for the time we put in, it's great.
And you know what's interesting as well? If we remove this loop here, it should. Did I remove it? No, I don't think I did.
Nope.
It actually gives us a little placeholder, so we can click on it and add a videos loop. Right,
nice.
so that makes it
great for content editors. Yeah,
exactly,
it makes obvious where the slots are.
Yeah, for us it's quite normal, right? But like those things, it makes it easy.
Absolutely.
And now we just add the video card and map it again. Of course, we didn't copy paste this time, but you get the gist. So time is actually flying. We're at like a bit before 6 already. Let's see, did we have any questions in the chat? No, we didn't actually.
Not so yet. If there are some, drop them in the comments. We will have a look and answer them for sure.
Because I'm thinking, should we let's grab another 10 minutes. So when you have seen all this craziness, do we map one of those components that we had in my old site to the new one? Or do you maybe have another question, something you want to explore? What do you think?
I think we can start like right away doing like a bit more of the migration part. So yeah, let's grab a component and see where it goes.
Okay, let's see which one we can take. Just open this bad boy. This hero component is slightly complex in my V2 website because it has a few options here. When I then go to, let's say here, this is the same component in another state, and it suddenly has like all this complicated stuff. Yeah. So what we could maybe do is grab like this nice looking video card.
Yeah, let's take that.
And let's take this one. So
sure.
the easiest way is probably for me to just grab it here. Okay, let's have a look how I built that. Let's zoom in. Oh, nope, components.
Single video or video
It's
card? Good
probably
naming.
video card. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes.
And then, oh, like this, I love this from Nuxt. Like it just goes to the atoms folder and grabs me the
Yes.
date component. You see, I
Indeed.
spread it out because then it looks, oh, in this case, the video card is not showing that there, or just showing it like
Date
this.
is, yeah, down there. Yep.
You know what? It's probably, oh, that's interesting. Oh, the type is small, so it's likely literally just typed it as a little li, because this component can also show it like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, depending on the variant, right?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
saw it on the VF. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it shows some tags, which is also an atom. I decided not to use the tags because YouTube itself, they do something with tags, but I feel like for my website, I don't really need a very complicated faceted search thing. Even though this is really fast, I like to see that.
It
But
really is, yes.
nobody uses this, right? And nobody actually goes and watches a video on this page. What they do is they watch it on YouTube.
Most likely,
So,
yeah.
yeah, for my new site, I'm deciding to just have this list. When you click on it, you just go to YouTube. It's easier. And so here is a YouTube player. Oh,
Yes.
but that's inside the video card. Okay, we're going to have to check what's happening here. Like, it's more complex. This is the main variant. Then we have another variant, which is if it's big.
The big one redirects to the detail page in the Nuxt link.
Yes, look, yes, exactly. Oh, the big one is this one. This one. So I think this is the big one.
And I think this is the main one, or doesn't it? If you click on the player, does it play or does it redirect? No, it redirects, right?
Interesting. This is probably the main one.
Yeah.
Where it actually plays. Oh yeah, that's the main. This is the big, and this is the small, probably, or something like that. You see, it's been a while since I built this website.
Yes, yes.
Oh, and there's also featured.
Oh, yeah. I think the featured is the one we just saw, the one with the big thumbnail.
Likely.
And the watch the video.
And then there's the small.
Yes.
So what I'm thinking is we should grab the small. But us looking at this is already pushing us towards the end of the stream time. You know what we could do is potentially do a V2 where you come back.
Of course, why not? Yeah.
You know what we could, I'm thinking what we could do with that is if you come back, I give you a uniform project and set you up, and then
I have to do it.
And then you do it.
Okay,
do you think
sure.
that's interesting, or is that too complicated?
I'm up for that. I'm always happy. I mean, I have not worked with it before. I just saw the preview, so I understand the concept. And I think that's some great hands-on experience to see how things are going and how easy or hard it will be.
Exactly. And it's an interesting approach to, if you build as a developer like you have your blog posts in a certain place, you have your Git repository somewhere, you might have some videos or some talks. You might not want to do that all with Markdown and copy it over somehow, right? You could actually do this approach with Uniform, just link out and make some quick serverless functions to query that stuff.
True.
Or do a proper integration. Of course, that's also possible.
Yeah, like use CMS or whatever. Yeah.
So I think what we should do is we'll reconvene somewhere next week and chat a little bit about what this actually is. You try it out. I'll make sure that when you get a project, I'll give you all the rights so you can do all the crazy shit. You can actually do edge personalization and all, like, you can go mental. You don't have to. You can just get started. But it's also a really cool way for us to have a look. It's like, okay, this SDK, does that make sense for you? How easy was it to set up? What do you need to do? Is the starter good? And then we can actually maybe build your website in it, or some whatever you want. Doesn't matter.
Well, if you want, we can also continue from your website on I don't know, implement the small version or whatever. We can also do that, and then I send in a PR.
Exactly. And I'm actually redesigning right now, so it's going to look a lot simpler than this one.
Nice. Yeah,
And
same here.
so
Like I'm rewriting my want to all like condense the website with the blog and everything. Also,
yeah,
yeah, waiting for new design basically.
it's
So
always the same. Dude, thank you so much sticking with me and how I use my keyboard to type wrong things.
thanks for
Um,
having me.
and yeah, it was super fun because what I like when I show you something, you just get it. And so we can move fast, which is super cool. So thanks again. And shout out, where can people find you?
Yeah, I have a website. Everything is probably linked in the description. So yeah, my website, lichter.io or
Yep.
nuxt.xyz.
Oh,
Very
that's the
clever
cool
alias.
one. Nice,
It
nice.
goes to my blog, which is a little outdated, but yeah, you figure. I am on Twitter at the Alex Lichter. Not the easiest name, but again, it's linked down
Oh,
there.
it's here on your
Oh
card.
yeah,
Yeah, people
true.
can see it. Otherwise, yeah,
There.
there you go. There
Ha!
you go.
Awesome. And other than that, yeah, some more contact opportunities or chances on my website, but I think that's the easiest. If you want to write me a mail, you can also do that. Yeah, that's also linked on the website. And
Perfect.
other than that, please, if there are questions, write them down. Or also, if you have any idea what we should do in the next stream, then drop down some ideas. Like, we're always happy to see them.
Look who is in the chat. We have
Oh,
Nikki. Oh, that's
it
very
is.
nice. It's nice to see you, Nikki. Awesome. You just joined at the end, but it's fine.
I think she was there the whole time.
Oh, I hope so. She commented at
I'm-
the end.
I'm
That's
pretty
it.
sure. Yeah. So
Exactly.
thanks a lot, and
Thank you so
then
much, Nikki.
see you very soon again.
In Amsterdam in 2 weeks.
Indeed.
I'm so nervous for my talk. It's going to be insane. I'm opening the show. So.
Yeah, I will be there. I'll get up just to see.
Exactly. By the way, it's not 8 a.m. It's 9 a.m. It's 9:10.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh,
The
one more
schedule is
hour of sleep.
updated. Exactly. Look,
Awesome.
Nikki knows.
Yeah.
It's updated.
And Nikki was also watching the whole stream. Just throw that.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm very excited for this.
Oh,
Thank
I
you
can
so much
imagine.
for joining, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.
See you. Bye bye.